Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
It is 8:07. It's O'Connor and Company. Thanks for tuning in here to our Thursday extravaganza. Super busy news cycle, and we're just scratching the surface so far. I'm Larry O'Connor, and assisting me, and boy, do I need the assistance, Mercedes Schlapp.
Scratching the surface. I think we've done a phenomenal job breaking down the news this morning.
Honestly, having
but
you
there's a
and
lot of news.
Having our guest, KT McFarland, former Deputy National Security Advisor to President Trump and author of the important book, Revolution, that makes it pretty easy, too. Let's get right to it. KT, always good to speak with you. Good morning, and happy commissioning week for the Naval Academy.
There's nothing better in the world, is there, than to go to a Naval Academy graduation and seeing that 1,000 caps thrown in the air as they all graduated except their commissions in the Navy and in the Marines.
Yep, it's the greatest. All right, where do we begin? First, I got to ask you about what the international reaction is going to be to this unprecedented act of violence, this assassination last night of an Israeli diplomat and his soon-to-be fiancée, an American who worked at the Israel embassy here in Washington, D.C., murdered in cold blood at a American Jewish Committee event, and the assailant yelling, "Free, free Palestine," as he was being arrested. This is going to have a ripple effect internationally, I would think.
You know something? I don't think it will. I mean, that's the tragedy of it. I think that the world is so anti-Israel, anti-Semitic, whether it's the Europeans. I mean, the Brits are cutting off all aid. They've somehow, the Palestinians, the Gaza and Hamas, who are like the most evil people on the planet, they've managed to flip world opinion to make all this Israel's fault sometime. So I don't know how they've done it, but they've managed to do it. And I look at it and say, Democrats, how many times are you going to blow that dog whistle before somebody picks up a gun? And do you think the Democrats are really, I think that it's, Israel kind of deserves it. Israel's bad to poor Palestinians. And yet if they were going to go after anybody, the people who are the real villains here are Hamas. They're starving their own people. There's plenty of food stuff that goes in there and aid. It doesn't go to the people. Hamas distributes it to whoever Hamas wants, including the black market. But so it's just the whole thing is upside down. But frankly, I don't think it's going to have a big effect.
Wow.
We seen this horrific tragedy last night. It was clearly an act of terrorism. You saw Pam Bondi, Kash Patel on the scene. What we've gone into is the fact that it's the Hamas protesters in our college campuses, and now violence, even more violence that we're seeing with the death of these innocent Israeli embassy staffers. What else can the administration do to stop this type of bloodshed and really kick out these Hamas terrorists and their sympathizers?
Well, do what the Marco Rubio plan is, right? Get them out of the country, take away their student visas. If they're here illegally, get rid of them or put them in jail. And if they're American citizens who are really chanting and advocating violence and murder, put them in jail too. Let's charge everybody with hate crimes, because that's what these are.
I'd also love for you to comment on the extraordinary scene yesterday in the Oval Office as the president of South Africa. I'm being told by the media that it was an ambush, KT.
Oh, for God's sake.
For him not to be prepared to answer for his government's policies against white farmers, if he was ambushed, that's his fault, because he should have been prepared. What did you think of the scene?
God bless Donald Trump. He's using the bully pulpit to call out, name and shame people who are complicit in crime. And he's not using the American military. He's just saying, look, here's the evidence. He's got the bully pulpit. The world is watching. And so the South African president, that's not me. I don't really mean it. We want your resistance. We want economic relationships. And good for Donald Trump. That's the power of the presidency. It's not, he doesn't even have to use the economic weapon. It's just show people what's going on. And then let world leaders be held accountable.
Yeah, no, it was fascinating to watch when he puts on the video. We've seen this with Ukrainian President Zelensky. It is, I mean, you understand the world of diplomacy. This is a very different type of diplomacy that we're seeing, where it's bringing awareness to these tragedies and these atrocities happening across the globe. And Americans are now saying, wait a second, what's going on with these white farmers in South Africa? What do you think created this shift in President Trump, in the sense of that he's like, we're going to do this a whole different way?
It's just who Trump is. I mean, the one thing working for him, as you know, Mercedes, if you want to get him to say no, you say, well, the way we've always done it is no, and we're not going to do it that way. And so he thinks outside the box, and every single time. The thing that I think, though, is just the entire way he's handling the presidency. It's like he's brought us all into the Oval Office, right?
Yes.
When he goes around the cabinet meetings, everybody's talking. This is not just photo op and everybody goes home. This is like, we're there. We're there as they're debating these things. We're right there at the moment. And so not only people who didn't vote for Donald Trump, but everybody's kind of in on what it's like to be president. Everybody's in on the decisions. Now, I think that what this will do in long run, which they're not even thinking about right now, but that's giving him the political capital he's going to need. It's making every American have skin in the game, right? We're all involved in this. This is our president. We're in the Oval Office, too. And when tragedy and crises happen, and they do for every president, you don't see it coming, it just is there. He will have built up so much goodwill, and when he can go to the American people then and say, look, something terrible has happened, I need you. I need you to be with me on this. I need you to be patient a little longer. We're going to get through this together. That's the fireside chat of FDR. That's Abraham Lincoln. You know, that's Martin Luther King. That's connecting with your people in such a, Reagan did it so brilliantly. It's you are one with your people. And compare that to, previous presidents, especially the most recent previous president. Donald Trump is a whole different thing.
Katie, Russia, Ukraine quickly, and anything of note that you see there? I don't quite see any movement at all, and it looks like President Trump's pretty frustrated. Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, if Russia doesn't want to stop killing, where does it go? How long are they going to go?
I just want to say, KT, what's interesting here is that we do see Pope Leo XIV offering to host, both the Ukrainian president and the Russian president, which I thought was such an interesting play. And President Trump actually likes the idea.
Seems open to it.
Yeah. And Putin is apparently, or at least claims to be, a very devout Russian Orthodox Christian. So let's see where this goes. Maybe that's another avenue to it. But at the end of the day, if one side wants to just keep fighting until the last man, nothing much you can do about that.
One last question, KT. The revelations of Joe Biden, well, they're not revelations, we all knew it, but the confirmation of Joe Biden's condition. On the international front, obviously, foreign leaders saw this too.
Sure.
Are you, they said nothing, and obviously I guess that's the diplomatically appropriate thing to do, but do you believe that we were taken advantage of by our allies and adversaries, knowing that we had a barely functioning head of state?
Absolutely. I mean, look what happened with Afghanistan. Russia then invades. Iran unleashes the proxies. Hamas goes in and kills Jews in Israel. Look all over the world. The Chinese are getting aggressive in Taiwan. Everybody was ripping us off. Everybody was taking advantage of it. And I got to say, to me, this is a coup. This was a coup about a cabal of power-hungry, nameless, faceless people in the West Wing of the White House who've been in the Obama administration, now in the Biden administration, and they just couldn't give up clinging to power. They were like, this is like Weekend at Bernie's. They took a man who should have been allowed to retire and play with his grandchildren, and they propped him up so they could be in power. And they were absolutely preparing to let the guy die for it. And then in hopes that he would be reelected and they could still stay in power for another couple of years. Those people should be named, and they should shamed, and they should be never in polite company again. They didn't commit a crime, maybe, but enough's enough.
We'll leave it there. KT, always absolute pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you.